Hello and welcome in. I am MissKinghorn and we are back here in The Sims 4. We have just had three new kits, two kind of build kits just drop, and I thought let's build for them. So we are on a 15 by 20 lot in Willow Creek in the Foundry Cove sort of neighbourhood. It's one of the small ones. I think it's not the one on the end, let's put it that way, but so I decided to build a small 2-bedroom kind of family home. It's little, I will give it that. It's actually for a family of 4, so we do have 2 adults and a infant and a toddler. So lots of kind of gameplay elements to go into this as well, as you would presume. I actually had a lot of fun kind of building all of this, and as you can see, the house already had to be extended and changed because it was way too small. But yeah, we have 2 new kits. We have the kind of garage kind of restoration pack, which we definitely use in here. And also the sort of kitchen decoration kind of clutter kit, which is a gorgeous. I think that's probably my favourite of the 2. I used both of them quite a lot. We have 2 kind of very decorated rooms with them. So if you don't have those 2 kits, but you still want this house, you will basically have an empty kitchen and an empty garage. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, there's quite a lot of, I suppose there's only the same amount of items, but I feel like they feel very big. I think because they are like whole rooms and you can fully decorate a whole room, it kind of fits in there really, really nicely. But here we are filling out the floor plan. Again, the house is changing. So yeah, I kind of had to expand and change and move around this house a little bit, and I couldn't get a double bed in. I didn't have enough room for a kitchen. The stairs wouldn't fit in. It became a huge, big kind of thing. But we got there in the end. So there are 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom upstairs, and then there is a bathroom downstairs. One just has a shower. I think that's the upstairs, and then downstairs has a bath in there as well. But we've gone for this kind of nice mint green. I've got a feeling that's growing together in that. I did want to, when I thought about it and started this, I was like, oh, it's okay, we're just going to do a base game and the 2 new kits. That quickly went out the window in there, and I changed. A lot of this is actually sort of decoration wise on the outside. The doors, the windows, these columns are actually from the new birthday update we got a couple of weeks ago in there. So yeah, I thought let's sort of change it up and increase the number of packs we use in here. FYI, this garden fence does change. I actually take that back to a base game kind of fence. I kind of forgot that we had new swatches for the garden fences, and I wanted kind of a light kind of creamy one. We do end up getting that in there as well, but yeah, we're still kind of on the limited pack section here. So these are the festive hedges that came with the it was like the gameplay kind of thing at Christmas or for the holidays where you had to do certain bits and pieces. You get stuff, yeah. I decided to place some of those in because I thought this would make it a nice kind of more upmarket kind of house than what I originally had in mind. Lots of kind of lighting, lots of sort of soft things coming in here as well. And garage door going in, and just some sort of decorations and bits and pieces on here. Right, so I wanted this home to be a really nice kind of family, kind of a small, simple kind of family home that's maybe a little bit cheaper than kind of my normal builds. It's also kind of something that's maybe a little bit more run down not necessarily run down, but it's very simple. It's kind of very everyday house rather than kind of an expensive build that I would normally do in here. And I thought if they've got like a small growing family, that they kind of have an idea of like what they want to be as people, sort of they've each got their own little hobbies, and they can kind of do that, but also they've got 2 small children, and it's a very busy, hectic household, let's put it that way, in there as well. And yeah, I thought a nice kind of cheap kind of family home. Obviously in terms of kind of getting, I don't really know off the top of my head how much this cost. I transfer like a million simoleons into the family at the beginning. I just go with that in here. But yeah, just getting in a few little finishing decorations out the front here. This kind of little porch area, I kind of just wanted a couple of chairs on here. I don't necessarily see it being usable. Well, I mean, it is usable, but it's not really going to be used, I don't think. It's just kind of a bit of a weird little space out here. But hey, you can sit down there, maybe read the paper in the morning and have a nice little chill, or maybe you've got friends over that you don't really want them to see inside the house and all the clutter and things like that. But we are now getting into the sort of garage or worktop space. So with the restoration workshop kit, there is a lot of kind of bits and pieces. You can see I just randomly pull lots of items out here, and I just kind of pull everything out and then just kind of work out where everything works in here in terms of windows, in terms of the door, because at the moment this room is completely accessible. I do add a door in around the back so that your sim can sort of come in that way. In here we do also have this on a lower height as well, so your sim can have to access it via the garden, not linked in to the house. But yes, I kind of had a little bit of play in here. I didn't actually place any of like the like kitchen appliances. I think we have the coffee pot in the kitchen, spoiler alert, but I couldn't really get anything to work like to fit on any of the sections. I don't know whether that's maybe something it has to be broken in game before they can really use it. I don't know. I literally spent about 5 minutes. It didn't really work, so I ran away. And that was pretty much the extent of the gameplay I used with this pack. In here we do manage to get in a few other bits and pieces. So you can see here I'm using some bits from the artist's studio kit, and then there's also some just boxes of clothes and games and things like that adorning the shelves, because I thought that would be a really nice kind of, like, you've just got bits and pieces out here that kind of all fit in with what it's just a normal garage. I feel like mine is very much more cluttered to the point you can't really even walk in my garage. But anyway, they're not really for cars anymore, I have to be honest. But yeah, so that's basically everything we get out from the from that kit. I think we do end up placing a few other items inside the house as well, but we'll come to those as we go. We're now jumping on into the inside. So this is a nice tiny little entranceway here. I kind of did the floor plan when I actually built the house, so you can kind of see all of that all being built in together. And yeah, I went for a very nice kind of white sort of and pastel-y kind of colours throughout this build. And now this is the living room, kind of dining room in here. It is a very small house, and I feel like I have to keep saying there were choices I had to make because it was so small. If I had more time and a bigger lot, I think I probably could have done something a little bit different with this. But I still like the kind of family home that we got in here, and yeah, it works quite well for the family that I placed in here as well. Now we do end up cluttering quite a lot of this table up. I know the front 2 chairs work. Spoiler again, I'm giving you lots of spoilers today. I placed a bear or a tiger technically on one of the chairs, so obviously that is not usable because you'll basically look like you have a tiger coming out of you. But other than that, the front ones should work, and I did manage to feed the toddler in the high chair, which took forever because she just wanted to take it outside all the time. I don't know why. They just constantly went outside for everything. But anyway, now we are creating this kind of wall. I was struggling to come up with artwork for this kind of build, and then I thought we have all of these like debug kind of drawing pieces or children's artwork from Seasons, and I thought let's kind of do a fun little artwork section in here. So yeah, that's kind of what we've got going on over on there. I feel like the kids have been busy at it, at maybe nursery or something like that, and they've created lots of sort of spring kind of artwork pieces, and they've just added them to a big wall section in here. And you'll see here, this is the living room. Yeah, it was small, and we end up with a really small TV, which it's little in here. I tried, but no, we end up going for a small one, which I think is perfectly fine. I don't feel like this is a family where they would sit down and watch a lot of TV. I feel like with two little ones, they would be very, very busy and very much kind of doing lots of sort of different things, whether it's feeding the kids, bathing the kids, playing with them, doing stuff, maybe working in their hobby, maybe the dad goes out to the garage and restores things and does things up. I don't think there's time to sit down at the end of the day or maybe watch TV, or maybe it's just a case of they drop the toddler on a chair and let them watch the telly. I don't know in there. But now we're moving on to the kitchen, where we are basically using these base game and then this fridge feels perfect for this sort of family home. In here I do try to use some of the restoration pieces, you can sort of see that, and in the end we change all of that out and then get in with lots of the kitchen clutter items in here, which I've got to say, this is probably one of my favourite kits. I think this is a lot more rounded than maybe even like the bathroom clutter kit. It has so many different items that I think maybe 80, maybe 90% of this kitchen is like this new kit. It is gorgeous, and I kind of actually show you me pulling them all out because we're literally just filtering by this pack, and I go extreme. I think I pull out pretty much every single item. I don't think there's anything that I didn't pull out with it when it comes to this kit. It's a really rounded, nice kit that I think could work anywhere. And I think in this kind of family home, it works perfectly. If you've got maybe a little bit more of an upmarket kind of home, it really works. And there's bits and pieces that could go for like small apartments or kind of more palatial kind of homes. So I am definitely going to be using this kit all the time. So be warned if you are liking my builds, and yeah, I feel like it's going to be one of those packs where I use it over and over again. So you can all brace yourselves for that one. I do actually leave a whole counter empty, so I end up moving the little plants. I think they're herbs over slightly, so that whole counter there is then technically empty. So your Sims can still chop and cook, and I placed this little for you in there. But there is lots and lots of clutter coming through. And one thing, and I don't actually know if this is even possible, I placed a lot of clutter on here, is this kind of island piece actually like an island where your Sims can chop food and cook food and it's like usable? If it is, that'd be amazing, because that's kind of the first thing that we've really had like that. Another thing I noticed, the fridge freezer is smaller than all of the others. Normally I have to kind of smoosh it in, and normally it doesn't quite fit, but this one actually really did. So super proud of this. But now we're jumping up into the to the back garden area. Again, this is quite small. I didn't really have anything kind of in mind when it came to this. I felt like it was something that could just be like a really simple kind of boring garden where maybe they just have some really huge kind of big plants that they don't really have to do anything with. Maybe they're not so green thumbed, and maybe they just kind of let this area kind of grow a little bit wild and a little bit sort of natural, which I kind of just did. I know I got a couple of flowers in here and a little bit sort of in there, but I thought most of it would just be kind of slabbed over and sort of with these huge big concrete blocks, which I think work really nicely, and we've also pulled those in from the front as well. But then we do get in a few little toys out here for the little ones, so we get the like sort of toddler pool and the slide, and also a sort of chair in there as well, and then the door to the garage, and then a few more sort of little scuff marks and kind of watermarks and bits and pieces out here, just to kind of make it feel a little bit more realistic in there as well. And now, as if by magic, the garden isn't done again. I forgot it. Okay, it seems to be a theme. It's just one of those things. I tend to forget the garden until the very last minute, and then have to kind of put it back into the recording. Yeah, don't hate me for it. Anyway, now we're working on the upstairs hallway. This space here, so you can sort of see by the stairs here, I wanted to have a computer desk in here, and you'll see me place it there, and I get a chair and then go, they're not going to be able to access that. We're not going to be able to get one in here. What do we do with this space? I thought I could maybe get a bookshelf in, but then I thought we've got some downstairs. There's one in the toddler's, well, there's going to be one in the toddler's room. And then I thought, let's just kind of get some open shelving in here with lots of bits and pieces and make something of it. It's just kind of going to be an empty dud space, which I thought, yeah, I could maybe open it up to the hallway downstairs, but that was just going to be a little bit more hassle than what it was really going to be worth. So I thought, let's just get in a few other bits and pieces, and then we get this little cardboard horse thing from I think again it's growing together, isn't it? We use quite a lot of that pack in here as well, and yeah, a few little bits and pieces just smooshed on here to kind of create this sort of shelving in here. And we do actually get that plant in. We kind of have to cheat our way around with that plant because it is technically attached to the wall, or it has to be. It's one of those weird ones. I don't really know why, but we smoosh some books together to kind of create a full shelving up there. Maybe they are like books on cooking or on restoration or parenting or family albums or something that they don't want the little ones to get. And then we have the plant falling over the sort of stairs in there as well. And now this is the parents' bedroom in here. It's quite small, but I think we get everything that we really need in here. And I kind of again go for that sort of nice light soothing green that works perfectly for what we're doing. And then with the soft sort of light wood in here as well. And I did want a little chair in here. We end up using one of these little ottoman things. Why are these so big? I normally put a chair in the bedroom for like if you're tying your shoes or you're putting your socks on or something like that. I tend to sit on the bed, I've got to be honest. But I thought if they have a nice little chair in here, they could just kind of sit at the end of the day and relax. So we've got this nice little bench in there, and also, I've got to be honest, it would just provide a nice little dumping ground for some storage as well in there. And then some more clutter pieces on the bedside table as usual. But what do you want to see me build next? I have so many ideas that I'm kind of struggling. So I'm kind of like, I want to build this, I want to do this, I want to do this. But what do you want to see me do? What kind of builds are you interested in at the moment? What do you want to see? Kind of where do you see the channel growing or going towards? Let me know in the comments below. there, or you can basically find me on social media as well and let me know over there. Because yeah, I have so many ideas that I don't really know what to do anymore. We're just kind of gonna keep doing sort of lots of different kind of builds. I'm slowly getting over my builder's block in The Sims. Planet 2 is a little bit of a different one. I think because I had my heart set on it being finished by now. I was like, right, we're gonna have this plan, we're gonna do this, 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 and this, and it's over. And then they've kind of like scuppered it right at the last minute, in a way. But yeah, what do you want to see me doing over here on the channel? And I've completely talked over this little twin, not twin, but there's 2 Sims bedrooms for the toddler and the infant. One thing I have found, if I can't work out which one's which, I just build them both. If anyone remembers a couple of weeks ago when I was building a toddler room for an infant, yeah. Talking of social media, you can find me all over there, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!